What if I told you that 8 hours in bed has almost nothing to do with how rested you feel tomorrow? Not at 7 hours, not at 8 hours, not even at 9 hours. You could sleep a perfect, uninterrupted block tonight and still wake up feeling like you never closed your eyes. For decades, we were told that sleep is just a number. Hit your 8 hours, set your alarm, and you're good. Track it on a watch, see the green checkmark, trust the checkmark. But research tells a different story. Sleep scientist Matthew Walker spent years studying thousands of sleepers at UC Berkeley and found that duration alone barely predicted how refreshed people felt the next day. Some slept 9 hours and crawled through their morning. Eve Van Corter at the University of Chicago tracked hormone levels in sleepers overnight and found some people were metabolically exhausted after a full night in bed. Their bodies never actually shifting into repair mode. And William Dement, the father of modern sleep medicine at Stanford, spent his whole career proving something that sounds almost too simple to be true. Being in bed and being asleep are not the same thing at all. So what changed between the people who woke up refreshed and the people who didn't? Not their bedtime, not their alarm clock, not even how many hours the clock recorded. What changed was everything happening in the hours they weren't watching, deep inside the body, far below anything a sleep tracker can see. Today, I'll show you the 7 reasons research shows you're still tired even after a full night's sleep, and why your body may be running on a completely different internal clock than everyone else's. Reason 1. Your circadian rhythm is out of sync with your sleep schedule. Your body doesn't just want sleep, it wants sleep at the right time. Harvard researcher Charles Chasler has shown that your internal clock, run by a tiny brain structure called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, controls when your body actually wants to shut down and restart. It's like a conductor, quietly timing every organ in your body to a 24-hour rhythm, whether you're paying attention to it or not. Sleep at the wrong point in that cycle, and your body never fully drops into deep repair mode. Even if the clock on your nightstand says a full 8 hours passed, ever notice how a nap at 3 in the afternoon feels completely different from falling asleep at 3 in the morning? Same number of hours, completely different result. That's the mismatch, and for shift workers, late-night scrollers, and anyone whose bedtime shifts around constantly, that mismatch happens every single night. Smart fix. Get quick bright light exposure within 30 minutes of waking up. It's one of the simplest, cheapest ways to anchor your circadian rhythm to the day you're actually living instead of the day your body thinks it's living. Reason 2. Your sleep is fragmented without you knowing it. Colin Sullivan, the physician who invented the CPAP machine, discovered that people with sleep apnea can wake up dozens, sometimes hundreds, of times a night and never remember a single one. The brain shakes off deep sleep just enough to gasp for air, then drops back. Over and over all night long, you never feel it happen. There's no memory of it in the morning, but your brain never reaches the long, uninterrupted stretches of deep sleep it needs to actually restore itself, repair tissue, and consolidate memory. It's like being interrupted every few minutes while trying to read a book. You technically finish the book. You remember almost nothing from it. Could you be waking up all night and simply not know it? Smart fix. If you snore heavily, wake up gasping, or your partner says you stop breathing at night, get a sleep study. Fragmented sleep can look completely identical to a full night on paper and completely different in how it actually feels. Reason 3. You're not getting enough iron. Low iron limits how much oxygen your red blood cells can actually carry to your muscles and your brain. And oxygen is fuel. Without enough of it circulating, even simple tasks start to feel heavy. Hematologist Michael Auerbach has documented how even mild, borderline iron deficiency, long before it ever shows up as full-blown anemia on a standard blood test, leaves people fatigued, foggy, and short of breath on stairs they used to take without a second thought. Their blood work can come back looking normal. Their energy tells a completely different story. It's one of the most commonly missed causes of chronic tiredness, especially in women, and especially in anyone who exercises heavily or has irregular periods. Smart fix. Ask your doctor for a ferritin test specifically, not just a basic hemoglobin count. Ferritin measures your body's actual iron stores, and it catches the deficiency years before hemoglobin ever will. Reason 4. Your thyroid is quietly underperforming. The thyroid gland, a small butterfly-shaped organ at the base of your neck, sets the pace for your entire metabolism. It decides how quickly your cells burn energy, all day, every day. Researcher Robert Utiger spent decades studying how even a slightly underactive thyroid, a condition called subclinical hypothyroidism, can leave people feeling slow, cold, and drained without any obvious red flags on a routine checkup. Your labs can sit just inside the normal range, technically fine, and you can still feel like you're moving through wet sand every single afternoon. Have you ever felt tired in a way that rest just doesn't fix, no matter how much of it you get? That's often the thyroid whispering, not shouting, and whispers are easy for a rushed appointment to miss entirely. Smart fix. Request a full thyroid panel, including TSH and free T4, not just a single number on a basic lab report. Reason 5. Your blood sugar is swinging instead of staying steady. Stanford researcher Gerald Revan was the first to describe what he called Syndrome X, now known as insulin resistance, a state where your cells stop responding efficiently to insulin and your blood sugar spikes and crashes throughout the day instead of holding a steady line. A big spike after a meal feels like a burst of energy at first, but every spike is followed by a crash, and every crash drags your energy down with it. Sometimes hard enough to make you reach for coffee or sugar just to function through the afternoon. That 2 o'clock wall you hit at your desk isn't laziness. It's chemistry playing out in real time inside your bloodstream. Smart fix. Pair carbohydrates with protein or fiber at every meal. It blunts the spike on the way up, which means there's no crash waiting for you on the way down. Reason 6. Low-grade inflammation is running quietly in the background of your body. Cardiologist Paul Ridker at Harvard discovered that a marker called C-reactive protein, a sign of inflammation circulating in the blood, predicted fatigue and future disease risk in people who looked completely healthy on paper, with no diagnosis, no symptoms anyone had flagged. Inflammation forces your immune system to stay partially activated around the clock, standing guard even when there's no real threat to fight. And that constant low hum of activity is expensive. It burns energy your body would much rather spend on recovery, on digestion, on actually restoring itself overnight. You can eat well, sleep on schedule, and still feel drained if this hum never quiets down. Smart fix. Prioritize foods rich in omega-3s, like fatty fish, and cut back on ultra-processed foods. Since diets high in refined sugar and seed oils keep that inflammatory signal switched on far longer than it should be. Reason 7. Your stress hormones never fully power down. Neuroscientist Bruce McEwen at Rockefeller University coined the term allostatic load to describe what happens when cortisol, your primary stress hormone, stays elevated for far longer than it's designed to. Under normal conditions, cortisol is supposed to spike shortly after you wake up, giving you a natural jolt of alertness, then taper steadily as the day goes on until it's low enough for real rest to take over at night. But under chronic stress, a demanding job, constant notifications, a mind that won't stop replaying the day, it stays high instead of tapering, keeping your nervous system in a low simmer of alert readiness even while your eyes are closed. Ever wake up after a full 8 hours feeling like you never actually stopped running? Like your body slept but your mind kept working the whole time? That's cortisol refusing to switch off. Smart fix. Build a real wind-down window before bed, 10 to 15 minutes with no screens, no notifications, and no problem solving, so your nervous system finally gets the signal that it's safe to power down. So no, it was never really about the number of hours. Not 7, not 8, not 9. It's about your circadian timing, your breathing while you sleep. Your iron, your thyroid, your blood sugar, your inflammation, and your stress hormones, all working together to restore you, or all quietly working against you, or the clock on the wall says you got a perfect night's rest. If this video helped you understand why you're tired even after a full night's sleep, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more research-backed videos on why your body works the way it does.